Welcome back. Selection Sunday has come and it has gone, and we have plenty of area teams dancing into the madness of March for women's hoops. We'll start with the Iowa Hawkeye women, who earned the top seed in Region 2 play. Here's their reaction as they found out their hard work has paid off, as they will play the winner of the first 4 game between Holy Cross and UT Martin.
I just think gives credit to our program. It establishes us as one of the very best teams in America. And so it's just a credit to our recognition, which I'm very happy about. But it's just a number, right? We got to the championship game with a number 2 seed last year. So we know number 1 seeds don't guarantee anything.
Now to the Nebraska Husker women. They earn a 6th seed in Region 1 play. They will take on Texas A&M in round 1. You can see the reaction from the Lady Skurs right there as they saw their draw yesterday. Now they shift their focus to the Aggies. That game on March 22nd. Important note, A&M just hired former Nebraska Athletic Director Trev Alberts last week.
It doesn't feel like that to us, that it's anything distracting. I mean, at this point, we've got a job to do. We're on a mission. We don't play against the athletic director. I mean, that's just the facts. So we're not looking at this like a distraction in any way, shape, or form.
Now to the Creighton women, who earned a 7th seed in the Region 2 bracket. The Blue Jays will take on UNLV in the round of 64. And although Jim Flannery, the head coach for the Blue Jays, feels like they could have been a higher seed than 7, the players are still locked in on winning.
Any seed that you get is really impressive, and all the teams that are in the tournament this year, including us, should be really happy with the work that we've done. So I don't really know if I have any thoughts about the 7th seed. I'm just excited that we're in it.
Now moving down into Region 4, Iowa State also drew a 7th seed, where they will be matched up with Maryland as a 10th seed. The Cyclones have played great basketball down the stretch, especially in the Big 12 tournament. The hope for the Clones is that got them prepared for the tournament.
I mean, you see how many Big 12 teams got picked, especially highly. Like, Big 12 is very well represented, as you guys could see. And so I think we play in one of the best leagues, you know, night in, night out, and every game was a battle. There was never an easy game when we played, so that's only going to help us going into the tournament.
A couple other teams in the area that made women's play is Drake and South Dakota State, and coming up tonight,